Don and Leanna's children, Melissa, Brian, and Katie. Their son-in-law, Derek Harper, and Derek Kuharski. Their daughter-in-law, Megan Bachand. And this is the special part, their grandchildren, Kylie, Julia, Alyssa, and Colin. President Bachand has several other family members who are also with us here today. Can you please stand? Thank you. Thank you so much. I know how special this is for Leanna and Don to have their entire family here to celebrate with us today. Also with us today are members and former members of the Board of Control. I would like to ask the audience to hold their applause until all the members have been recognized. So the current board members, Raj Weiner, Vice Chair, stand. Joanne Crary, please stand. Lindsay Eggers, Carl Williams, and Bhushan Kalkari. Thank you so much. We have such a rich history that we have a lot of other former board members of Control with us here, and I'd like to announce all of them. I will start, and just hold your applause until I go through this. Dave Abbs, please stand. Ruth Braun, Kathy Ferguson, David Gamez, Dr. Carew, John Kunitzer, Jeff Martin, Pat McGinnis, Larry Sadrowski, Linda Sims, and Leola Wilson. And Scott Carmona is not able to join us today, but I know Nancy is here today as well to recognize Don. And Diane Yance is also here with us today, and her late husband, Jerome Yance, served on the Board of Control for 16 years. Wonderful service.
Janae just walked in.
Oh, and Janae. Okay, Janae, I heard that you just walked in. Hello. Thank you for joining us, Janae Valquez. We are also pleased to have the President Emeritus, Eric Gilbertson, with us today. Eric, could you please stand? I don't know where he's at. Additionally, we have several legislators in attendance. Again, I would like to ask the audience to hold your applause until I've recognized all the guests. Congressman Dan Kildee, Congressman John Molinaire, Senator Kevin Daly, Senator Ken Horan, Representative Annette Glenn, Representative Phil Green, Representative Amos O'Neill, Representative Scott Van Singel, and Representative Rodney Wakeman. Thank you so much for your service and joining us today. We are also joined by many other distinguished guests and current former employees, students, alumni, and valued friends of this university. In particular, I would like to recognize former Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Robert Yen. Could you please stand? Dr. Yen hired Don Bachand back in July of 1978, and all that at that time began the story of Donald J. Bachand serving this wonderful university. So please share in your applause. It is a long-standing tradition for universities to name buildings after individuals who have a record of extraordinary accomplishments and contributions to this university. For example, at SVSU, we have the Curtis Hall, we have the Ryder Center, and we have the Gilbertson Hall, just to name a few. All these buildings bear the name of signature personalities in the history of this fine university. Today, we will add Bachand Hall to that list. And with Dr. Bachand's name on this building, he will take his deserved place with other notables in SVSU's history. I would like to begin today's ceremony by inviting Raj Weiner, the SVSU Board of Control Vice Chair and alumna of SVSU, to say a few words about Don Bachand's years of meritorious service. Raj?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, you all may have guessed that we're enjoying this historic moment with such elegance under the guidance of Dr. Carlos Ramey and Mary Kowaleski. Thank you so much for organizing us today. And it's my honor to present President Don Bachand's history of service at Saginaw Valley State University. And oh my goodness, it's such a long one. After all, I had already left Saginaw Valley 5 years before Don showed up on the banks of the Tittabawassee River, I'm told, and into the office of Provost Bob Yen to apply for a position to teach criminal justice. And back then, the university had just one instructional building, Wicks Hall, and it had a crop of mobile units growing in the middle of the cornfield. And the university was contemplating a reduction in force. But Officer Bachand showed up again. And I think that that has been his MO all these years: be present, show up, and serve. And Bob was so impressed with his commitment to higher education and courage to take on what was a developing program that then only had a handful of students that Bob hired him. And today, criminal justice is one of the largest degree programs in the College of Arts and Behavioral Sciences, where Don went on to serve as a dean who was respected for being fair, a caring administrator, who wanted to place good people in good situations so that they could succeed, and who applied those same principles to students by building relationships and preparing them for successful lives and careers. From there, Don has had a remarkable career in higher education, earning a PhD from the University of Michigan, becoming Dr. Bachand, while rising through the ranks from assistant professor to the dean, to provost, to president, all at one institution. There's a lot of history, and as you can imagine, I fact-checked all of this with my most reliable source. Apparently, Dr. Merlin Mondal sat on his first faculty evaluation and gave him very high marks then and even now. And that is a big deal, because she has known all 4 presidents of this institution and outlived half of them. So I said, "Ma, what can you tell me about Don Bachand?" And immediately she started, and she went on and on and on about how wonderful Leanna is. And of course, Leanna is a powerhouse in her own right, trained in nursing, a legacy of nurturing student and community relationships here around the Great Lakes and overseas. You all know that she played a key role in establishing the SVSU Health Clinic adjacent to the Royal Seed Home Orphanage in Ghana, which the Bachands have personally supported, and also building relationships with its neighboring university. Okay, back to Don. So Don also served on the Faculty Association. He won prestigious awards like the Landy Teaching Excellence Award, which is the university's highest academic honor, soon followed by the Michigan Association of Governing Boards Distinguished Faculty Award. Dr. Bachand's accomplishments as provost are also extensive, and they include external accreditations for academic programs and support for sister college relationships abroad. It also includes the design and outfitting of buildings like the Health and Human Services program being named Bachand Hall today. So Don was a first-generation, full-time working college student whose dedications, skill, service, and courage were recognized and appreciated by his colleagues. The board of control appointed him as SVSU's fourth president in February 2014, when his predecessor and mentor, Dr. Eric Gilbertson, under whom we all know the university grew so much in enrollment and physical campus, Eric announced his retirement. Well, from the very start of his presidency, Don has worked aggressively to double the number of private scholarships given to our students. He boldly pursued fundraising and lobbying strategies that have brought in financial resources for our students and faculty and have increased the value of SVSU's endowment. Don has supported creating new degree programs. He has bolstered initiatives that have earned prestigious national awards for the university. And thankfully, so much was accomplished early, because who could have known what we all have experienced since 2019? Don's legacy exemplifies trusting relationships built with integrity and transparency, and a collegial, welcoming campus culture that has made alumni proud. Students feel empowered, making SVSU a place where people want to learn, want to stay, and want to work. And these already established tenets of Don's administration, he led with personal example all the way. And that, in my mind, is what made it possible for the university to continue offering safe learning and career opportunities during the extended period of unprecedented challenges of a global public health crisis. The experience here was an exemplary demonstration of mutual trust in leadership. So, today, we salute you, President Bachand. Rumor has it he had a sense of humor through all of this. Those of you who have seen it are fortunate. But today, we are saluting you for your dedication to higher education and your loyalty to this university. And we honor your career of integrity and courage in outstanding leadership and service to Saginaw Valley State University. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj. It is my pleasure now to invite Pat McGinnis, a former SVSU Board of Control member and former student of Don's, to the podium to make a few remarks.
Good morning. Beautiful day. It's only fitting for Don. Well, Don, they told me I had 3 minutes. I have a lot to say, but I'm going to try to say it as succinctly as possible and get to the point here. First, I have to thank Mary for reaching out to me and inviting me to come here today and giving me this opportunity. I had the honor of a lifetime, approximately 9 years ago, to give Don's first commencement speech. And I was blown away. And then today to be here and say congrats on a job well done is a tremendous honor, Don. Well, as I was thinking about Don, a concept came to my mind that I used to talk about a lot when I was running Quicken Loans. It was called a Friday mentality. And I'd encourage you to look around in the workplace on a Friday. Everyone was a little happier. They saw hope. They saw opportunity. They were optimistic. They were helpful. They were talkative. And probably one of the biggest things I would see with my team members, they were curious about their other team members, what was going on at work. Now you think, well, shouldn't they know that? They're there 5 days a week. Well, Fridays, it was always this different mentality. People were curious about each other and what they were doing. And I was thinking about Don. I go, man, that guy lived that every single day. And I'm actually living proof of that concept. Now, I was a microcosm in this large universe of people that Don positively impacted. I'm sure we could be here for days with that parking lot full of people telling stories about how they changed, how Don changed their lives. And I'm living proof of that, Don. You literally changed the way I looked at the world. You changed my mindset. I remember the day it happened. I had to write an essay, which I had never done, believe it or not. And I wrote an essay, and I got an A. And I'm like, oh, my God. And he called me up, and he said, son, this is good. This is really good. You need to keep doing work like this. And I swear, a switch went off. I looked at the world differently. My self-confidence went through the roof, because at that time I was struggling, like many of us, to figure out, where do I go in life? And it changed the way that I looked at things. I wouldn't be standing here today. And so that is what Don exemplified on a daily basis. And, you know, if you look in the Webster Dictionary and you look at servant leadership, you'll see Don Bachand. Because I believe, as leaders in a company, leaders in politics, that if you've chosen to take on that role, you've dedicated yourself to helping others' dreams and goals come true. And that's what this man did on a daily basis. He committed himself to helping others' dreams and goals come true on a daily basis. And it's only fitting, Don, that they memorialize you here at SVSU forever. So hopefully I was able to get it out in a few words, but thank you, Don. You're an amazing individual, and I appreciate all that you've done for many others and selfishly me. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you, Pat. I would now like to invite former student of President Bachand's and another SVSU alum, the Honorable Ron Bacon, to the podium to make a few comments.
Thank you very much. First, I want to give acknowledgement. I see one of my mayoral friends out there, Mayor Brenda Moore, a dear friend and a mentor to me as I stepped into the role of mayor of East Lansing. So I want to thank you. First off, thank you, all the board, faculty, staff, students, for welcoming me to this incredible occasion. Dr. Bachand and I have been friends for 30 years. We weren't friends at first. I was a student that wasn't going to class and falling asleep, but now we're friends. I bring you greetings from the beautiful city of East Lansing, home of Michigan State University, where I currently serve. Yeah, let's do that. Where I currently serve proudly as mayor of East Lansing. Also, as an alumnus of this fine institution and an alumnus of the Cardinal football program, this Cardinal Nation is never far from my heart. Wherever I go, I take these values with me. So there's a little piece of Cardinal in East Lansing that I don't tell them what it is, but it's Cardinal stuff. I want to thank SVSU Education and family for setting me up for exponential success, both publicly and in the private sector, and as a leader for many years. Also, most importantly, making me a well-rounded human being that stands before you today. One of the chief cornerstones in my journey has been given to me by Professor Bachand, Dr. Bachand, in our criminal justice program. And he's also the person who gave me my first job. But clearly, the criminal justice didn't take, because I never did anything with that stuff. But the lessons, the lessons I took with me. He taught me critical thinking, and similar to Pat, in a way, study habits and a lot of other things that I didn't bring with me from high school. I don't know what I was doing in high school, and I had my 30-year high school reunion this weekend, and I don't remember a single thing from those classes, so it must have started here. So, yeah. Yeah. But carrying that forward, Dr. Bachand had many conversations with me, and they apply today as I'm mayor and doing other things in different boards and different systems. That we were having conversations in the 90s around justice, around equality, around equity, well before what the conversations that we're having today as a society. So it's neat. It's weird to even look back and like, we're having this conversation. This is like 1994 all over again. So it's exciting to see this happening. And actually, Dr. Bachand did help me get my first job. And ever since that time, he's been a sounding board for me. I'll bring any kind of pivotal decision that I'm making or any intersections kind of in life, I'll bring them to him and I'll call him. And only people I grew up with call me Ronnie, but he goes, Ronnie Bacon. And the rest, he gives this needed weird advice. It's kind of like, I probably wouldn't do that, but it's your choice. I think that means no at this point after 30 years. Today I just want to thank all of you for putting this into position, Bachand Hall, allowing this to become a permanent cornerstone for this university. It will forever represent a sense of fair and steady leadership, combined with passion for individuals that it serves. That is a legacy that we are here to celebrate today. So I want to thank Dr. Bachand for everything, friendship, brotherhood, leadership, and everything that goes with it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ron. Now, Bernice Barba, a recent SVSU graduate, will recall her memories with Dr. Bachand. Bernice.
Good morning, everyone. It is an honor for me to be standing here today. For those of you who don't know me, I am Bernice Barba, a two-time SVSU grad. During my time here at SVSU, I worked in the president's office for about 4 years as a student worker and later as a graduate assistant. I didn't realize the extent that I would be valued and utilized in his office. President Bachand not only served as an inspiration, but he opened doors for me. I was able to explore and connect with so many individuals that many students don't typically get to. Working with so many departments, experiencing things that only admin staff get to experience. As a student, this was not only exciting, but it allowed me to grow personally and professionally. I don't recall when I first met President Bachand, if before or after I started working in his office, because he is routinely interacting with students. Whenever possible, he likes to greet as many students as possible. It is very common to hear him ask, "What's your name? What's your major? Where are you from?" Anyone who has been around Dr. Bachand knows that his morning coffee ritual is somewhat sacred. This is a small part of his day, but on those morning trips to Starbucks, he could freely interact with staff and students along the way and get to know them. And yes, he would ask students, "What's your major and where are you from?" In all seriousness, being a first-generation student coming from a charter school was hard to say the least. But President Bachand has this ability to connect with students and assure them that the reason he does what he does is for students. After learning that President Bachand was also a first-generation student, I understood that if you set your sights on a goal, you can achieve them. I am beyond grateful for that. So President Bachand, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Bernice. We have another SVSU graduate, Inman Khan, who is unable to join us today due to a recent conflict with his schedule. However, he has prepared some remarks and has asked Dr. Pat Shelley, SVSU's International Student Advisor, to deliver them. I would like to invite Pat to the podium.
Thank you. I'm pleased to share Imran's remarks with you today. I know Imran well, and I can fully attest to his high level of respect that he holds for President Bachand. Here are his remarks. Imran's remarks. Good morning, Mr. President, Mrs. Bachand, honored guests, and my fellow Cardinals. I'm very honored to say a few words today at this momentous occasion. I'm sorry I can't be there in person to celebrate with you today. When I came here from Bangladesh to major in computer science, I wanted to get different people from different backgrounds together, to understand each other and find out all the ways we are alike. Dr. Bachand has always been a shining light for the campus international community. In many universities throughout the country, students would be lucky if they could even get on the president's schedule. However, at SVSU, Dr. Bachand has always made an effort to be there for international students. At first, meeting the university president felt like a daunting task, but once I got to meet him in person, I found out how compassionate and kind Dr. Bachand is. After the tragic earthquake in Nepal in 2015, Dr. Bachand's dedication and leadership made sure that the Nepalese student community had everything they needed to get settled here and to continue their studies at SVSU. Dr. Bachand is always approachable, and when you are talking to him, you know he is paying attention, full attention. I remember some of my close Bangladeshi friends and I invited Dr. Bachand to come and have lunch and listen to our proposal of setting up a cricket field on campus. He not only accepted our invitation, but sat down with us and listened to our interests. To this day, I am so thankful to Dr. Bachand and others involved from SVSU that we have a cricket field on campus. Many on-campus and off-campus community members use that field today. This goes to show that Dr. Bachand truly does care for the students and wants to make sure they feel at home on our beautiful campus. Each time I get to come back to campus, I feel as if I am returning home. I am sure many others feel the same and more. The dedication and legacy you will be leaving behind after your tenure at SVSU will surely be missed. Congratulations, Mr. President. Dr. Bachand has certainly made an impact in my life, and I am glad I was a student during his tenure at SVSU. May God bless you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Shelley. This occasion marks an important day for Don and their entire family. Don and Leanna's children grew up at SVSU playing a big part of who we are, and they all brought so much love and tender care to our family. Don's daughter, Melissa Harper, would like to offer some remarks today. I would now like to invite you to the podium to share your thoughts and kind words.
Hey, good morning. On behalf of the Bachand family, welcome. For as long as I can remember, SVSU has been Dad's workplace and an extension of our home. During the early years, with his office in a portable trailer, we would head to work with Dad on occasion while Mom was working on her master's. Stacks of yellow notebooks would cover his desk along with coffee mugs, and this young professor's career was just beginning. Those yellow notepads would often find their way to the kitchen table after the three of us had gone to bed, my mom working on her homework while my dad finished up his dissertation. At some point, we too were put to work, collating test packets and grading multiple choice tests with a red pen and an answer key that had to be aligned just right. Brian and I can attest to the fact that we would get fired from this task if we didn't have the right alignment. Over the years, we've run into former students. Their story a reminder that what happens here matters, and what he's been willing to give these past 44 years has truly lived on in every student's success. He knew this was hard work, but he also knew that this pursuit would change the course of a person's life, and he was invested. Our family has enjoyed concerts and football games. We've celebrated our weddings here. Our kids have grown up attending camps and have always been a part of college life. We have witnessed the impressive transformation of this campus, building by building. For those who study in the classrooms of Bachand Hall, our hope is that they feel welcome, supported, and inspired to be bold in their ambitions, that they follow through with the vision they have for themselves and for their families, even when it's not easy. We are looking forward to spending more time with our parents. We know that Dad's years here were full of purpose and a true love for the students and mission of SVSU. It has been an honor for us all to have been part of this wonderful SVSU family. And I'd now like to welcome to the podium my dad, Don Bachand.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Melissa. Thanks to Vicki and Raj and Bernice and Pat. Ronnie Bacon. I didn't know Ronnie was out of the question. Imran. This is really hard work. But I am kind of sensitive about Vicki Rupp referring to me as notorious. But it's okay. Thanks to all of you for joining us today. It means a lot to me and my family. I've devoted most of my professional life, nearly 45 years, to the cause of higher education. And all that time has been here at SVSU. I believe in our collective ability to transform lives. I'm proud of the students we serve and the people that I work with. Many of our students have stories similar to mine. I know some of you have heard this before, but please indulge me for a moment because I think today's college students need to know that there are those at SVSU who can really relate to them. I was a first-generation college student who worked full-time for the Detroit Police Department while attending college. I went mostly during the evening. Along the way, I realized that I found it extremely rewarding to teach and mentor others and help them achieve their goals. SVSU took a chance on me. In 1978, then Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Robert S.P. Yen, saw something in me and gave me the opportunity to teach and build the criminal justice program. Thanks for that, Bob. Trying to find my spot. I will forever be grateful that he did. I'm grateful for the students I have taught. I'm grateful for the colleagues that I have worked with at every level of this organization. I'm grateful for the alumni, the donors, and community partners who have invested their time and resources to grow this fine university. For me, advancing my education created opportunities I could have never imagined as I grew up in the city of Detroit. That is why working in higher education has been such a driving force in my life. I know what my education has done for me, and rich and fulfilling life and career I have thoroughly enjoyed. That is why I'm so passionate about opening doors of opportunity for people who often encounter doors that are closed. One of the lessons I have learned is that life goes better and success is more easily achieved when you surround yourself with wonderful people. For me, that starts with my wife, Leanna. She has supported me every step of the way. And you may not know this about me, but I'm not always an easy guy to get along with. But when I get out of line, she helps me find a better path forward. And she does it with clarity and in an expeditious fashion. Leanna, thank you for all you've done for me and for SVSU. To my children, their families, thanks for understanding all those occasions when duty called. Thanks for your love and support that you have shown. To my grandchildren, I appreciate your love and your patience. And I'm really looking forward to spending more time with you. I will be in a neighborhood near yours soon. As president and previously when I was provost, I have been fortunate to work with outstanding governing board members. These men and women understand the value of what we do, and they have worked to advance our university. Thank you to all of our current and former board members for your invaluable service to this institution, your support, and your friendship over these years. I've been surrounded by many great colleagues throughout my tenure. After 45 years, there are too many to name, but I appreciate all they have done to support me, to challenge me, and to work together on behalf of our students and our university. Finally, I am truly humbled by this honor, humbled to have my name join the names that surround us this morning, such as my mentor, Crystal Lang, Alan Ott, and former President Eric Gilbertson. These are my friends, my supporters, and my mentors. And right down the hall from those three names is Bob Yen, so it's a pretty good neighborhood for me to reside in. I've enjoyed a lengthy career because I find the work we do challenging, rewarding, and inspiring. I find inspiration in our students who are determined to complete their education, often in spite of significant challenges. So many of our students are motivated to serve others. We saw this last week during Battle of the Valley, and I've seen it throughout my tenure here at SVSU. It fills me with tremendous pride that I'm pleased to know that work will continue in this building and across this beautiful campus for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, President Bachand. You've heard so many wonderful stories here today, and I know there are many more that represent their gratitude for Dr. Bachand and Leanna's servant leadership and kindness. I have to step back and I have to say there's a chord between President Bachand and myself. We are first-gen students. And as I reflected back, 1977, coming onto this campus, it was so uncertain for all of us. And I reflect on the kindness, the support from faculty, from anyone that you touched on campus, and I think many of our guests would probably agree with me, is you feel like home. And it just brings so much of that caring, compassionate feeling that today resides here on this campus. From our history of all of our presidents, all of the faculty, staff, that have been represented over the years. And Don, you've carried that torch forward. And he's done an amazing job. He's brought this health and safety environment here to all of our students, faculty, and staff through the pandemic. And you just listen and you care. And I have one memory that I can't let go of, and I'm gonna have tears because I've spent 8 years with you. All of us board members are honored to be able to go to the commencements. That's our celebration. The students have reached their achievement, and that's the ultimate goal. And if anybody has ever been to commencements, we see the excitement in Don for every ceremony. And I will tell you, he stands on that stage, he shakes everybody's hand, he gives them the high five, he gives them big bear hugs, and we get to see that expression on every student's face. But sometimes he's got to step aside and let them do their celebration dance. Sometimes we think the stage is going to cave in, but it is so exciting. And that's the memory that I'm going to have in my heart forever, is to watch you enjoy that celebration of every student that walks across that stage. Thank you. Thank you. Finally, I would like to invite Dr. and Mrs. Bachand to come forward with the Vice Chair, Raj Weiner, and we would like to stand over by the signage. Okay, I want everyone to know that this is not the permanent signage for the building. The new signage will be installed soon, but it gives you a little bit of a look of how classy it is for such a wonderful president serving so many years with us. I want to take this opportunity to thank those individuals who worked so hard in the background to make events such as this one a highly successful, and of course the beautiful sun has always been a blessing for us in an occasion like this. I would like everyone in the conference and event and dining services to know that your dedication, skill, and attention to detail is recognized and very much appreciated. I don't know if any of you have gone to many events on campus, but it is top-notch. And I am so proud to always brag about the way everyone on this campus just really puts so much time and attention to all the details and just does a beautiful job. Okay, so this concludes our program, and I'd like to sincerely thank everyone for joining us here today for this very special occasion. I hope you're able to join us for the reception in the back and have lunch with us in the tented area. Lastly, could members of the Bachand family today please stay up here along with some of the Board of Control members so that we can get some photographs. But thank you all so much for joining, and we'd love to engage with you in the back, and please enjoy the refreshments back there for us. So thank you. Let's give a round of applause for the whole family.